Hey guys, it is Open Mic Friday. You've got questions? I've got some answers. Let's talk about it. So the big question is this: how do voiceover artists like us who are looking to take our careers to the next level but don't buy into the claims of needing expensive equipment and demos start bringing in new clients? How do you follow a clear path to changing your voiceover side hustle into your full-time job and stick it to those that said you couldn't? Those are the questions, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Earl Hall, and welcome to In the Booth with Earl Hall, where we know how to grind and don't quit. Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome into In the Booth with Earl Hall. Today is Open Mic Friday. You bring your questions, and I will answer them for you as best I can. Look, I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, to show you, the voiceover artist, how to start, build, and grow a successful voiceover career. Lots of things have been going on this week. So much more things happening and coming up in the next week. I got some instant messages and I got some emails and all of that in regards to a little topic that I brought up yesterday about a mastermind. So I've been working on that actually this morning, trying to iron out some things and lay some things out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably post something today or over the weekend in regards to just that. I want to get your input on how you see a mastermind and so on and so forth. So I'm going to post something in our Facebook group for Steps to Voiceover Success. So if you're not a member of that, you want to make sure that you hustle on over to Facebook and join the Facebook group for Steps to Voiceover Success. Obviously, if you go to the website, stepstovoiceoversuccess.com, you can join up there for free and also get access to the Facebook group as well, which is an open Facebook group. I was kind of surprised at the number of inquiries I got about a mastermind. So I'm going to look into that, and I'm going to see something that can work out. Will Stoff was actually the person that kind of put that in my head. He sent me an email, rather long email information, and kind of put that in my head. So, Will, I might be reaching out to you as well to see about working on something with that together. Giving credit to where credit is due, Will was the one that put it in my head to even do. So we'll be seeing how that goes. Will, I think you're a member over at the Facebook group for Steps to Voiceover Success. I believe you are anyway. And so we'll be talking, I'm sure, about that whole endeavor as far as having a mastermind group at an intermediate and expert level. It won't be something that I would open up to beginners or newbies, people that need a lot of general information just to get started, because I do this every day. Monday through Friday. And I mean, my YouTube channel is full of information, as well as obviously the information that you get access to at stepstovoiceoversuccess.com. So we're going to be working on that and seeing what happens and comes up with that. I've spent some time the day before yesterday, had an outstanding meeting with my crew for Earl Hall Studio, my script writers and production engineer. And just an amazing time we had yesterday. We have our group meetings as far as what we are planning to do and what we're working on and doing, which is a tremendous amount of demos at this point. So by the way, if you need a demo made, a professional quality demo, you want to make sure to hop on over to yourbestdemo.com, and check that out, and we can work that out with you. I mean, it's, we're at a price point which I believe is very affordable, especially seeing what a lot of people are charging to create professional demos. And, we're as good, if not better, than anyone that's out there in production quality for VO demos. So you want to check that out. And we even have payment plan. Just go to the website at yourbestdemo.com, and you're going to see you can probably go ahead and get you a demo made pretty quick. And we will work with you on that. If you haven't been introduced to our team, there's a video right there on the page at yourbestdemo.com, and you can check all of that out. Wow, a bunch of you are loading in here already. Will Stoff, obviously in the house. Andrea, John Oden or Uden, that's a new name. in the group. Welcome, Conchita, as always, one of my script writers at Earl Hall Studio. Awesome. We got Voices by Storm in here, as well as Steve-O, Merwin. Gosh, all of you guys coming in here. Yeah, just go ahead and say hey or whatever. And also go ahead and start posting your questions. This is Open Line Friday. I'm not here to present. I'm here to answer questions. So if you've got questions over the next 20 minutes, we can go ahead and get those questions answered. So go ahead and post them in the chat, and I will see those there and be able to take your questions as well. And you guys can see all that right on the screen right here. You can see everything right there. So yesterday we talked about some of the books that I've read, and I was how do I say this? Didn't have Cyrus Webb's book in my store, which it is in my store now. So those of you that want to go get it, just go to stepstovoiceoversuccess.com and click on VO Books and Gear, and you can see some of the stuff there. What I did too was I added some more things to my store, like my JBL speakers over here, that these were suggested by my engineer. I was about to buy some other speakers, and JC was like, no, you got to get the JBLs. So I put the JBLs in my store. I've got two of them. I guess you can only see one in the background here, as well as that little headphone preamp as well. It takes this little sucker right here. I picked that up. I didn't put that in my store yet, but I may go ahead and put that in the store too. But probably most of you won't need a headphone preamp because you're just using one set of headphones. I have to have it obviously for in the booth and out here. Got headphones out here, headphones in the booth, so that when people come and record, they can I can hear them and they can hear me and all that other kind of great stuff. Andrea is saying, I checked and Cyrus's book is still on Amazon. Yeah, it is. It's still there. And it's in my store as well. Stepstovoiceoversuccess.com, and just click on VO Books and Gear and you can see it there. Along with, all the gear that's in my store is the gear that I recommend. All of the books that I've read are in my store. These are the books that have helped me along the way. They have nothing to do with voiceover, except for my own book, which is in my store. The book titled Steps to Voiceover Success. So you can go ahead and grab that too. Super cheap on Kindle. So go ahead and grab that. It's selling every day. So I'm extremely proud of how the book is doing. If you don't have the book, it's more than just the book. It's the videos that are linked in the book that are there, PDF. It's a ton of information within those pages, and a lot of that information is outside of the book. It links out to videos on marketing, videos on production. It's at least, I would probably say, about 4 to 6 hours of video links that are there that are going to help you start, build, and grow your career in voiceover. All right. Sam is saying, are they speaker or studio monitors? They're studio monitors is what they are. And they literally are amazing. I was before, can I grab one? I was using these before. These are Bose speakers, but they're just speakers. And I thought I was doing something because I got some Bose, but they, in comparison to what the JBLs are able to pump out, just no comparison at all. I've got my JBLs connected into the, what is this thing? Board, my soundboard. I've got them plugged in there. Is somebody using a drill? Wow. Glad I'm not recording right now. But anyway, when you start to get more and more in depth involved, some of the stuff that I have in my studio is probably a bit overkill for many of you, because I do a lot more than just voiceover. Obviously, with having people come into studio at this point now to record, recording artists, spoken word artists, things of that nature, I need a lot more than the work that I would do just as a VO. But I'm loving my setup. I am absolutely loving my setup. Head's getting hot. Oh, now I got the ring going on around here. Okay. Anyway, let's see what you guys are up to in the chat room over here. And I'm about to slit the throat of the person that is using that drill. But anyway, Voices is asking, curious to know if you got the ventilation system on your new booth. I remember Whisper Room claimed to have a quiet vent system. I actually do have the vent system, but I did not plug it in. I did not connect it because I just didn't feel like I needed it. And it took up more room in the booth. And I've been recording in it every day. I'm not having an issue with it. Probably on next week, I'm going to give you guys a more in-depth tour of my booth because I haven't yet. So, I mean, I posted a couple of pictures in Steps to Voiceover Success Facebook group, but I'm going to give you guys a better tour. How do I say that? Because I've added some things into the booth as far as the acoustical panels which came with it are outstanding, but I wanted some more color. So I actually started putting blue panels up in there. I've got blue and black, so it's starting to look kind of sharp. And so as soon as I finish putting that stuff up, like I said, sometime next week, I'll give you a better tour of inside my booth and what's going on with that and how I've got it set up, how I've got my mic in there, how I have it set up so that you can read scripts and things of that nature. All right. Nick has a question. When putting forward an audition, what dB level do you normalize to? If it doesn't specify, I usually do it to -3B. Is this cool? Or would suggest anything else? -3B is fine. Sometimes I do a -2. Sometimes I do a -1. Basically, you just don't want it to be clipping. That's the thing. You don't want to have, if you're using Adobe Audition in particular, you've got the meter at the bottom that shows you once it turns. I mean, if it's green, it's fine. If it's red, it means it's too loud and you don't want it going into the red. And usually when I set things up, I have a limiter on mine so that it does not go beyond -6. But the main thing is that when you're listening to your audio, you don't want it going into the red. That's the basic thing. But the standard is -3B. That's what most people talk about, is normalizing to -3B. So thanks for that question, Nick. Steve-O, I see no one uses wireless headphones. Why? I don't know. I've never used wireless headphones. I don't know anyone that I've never seen anything against using wireless headphones. If one of you guys know, but I've never thought to use wireless headphones. I think it's kind of like the whole thing with Wi-Fi. If you're using Wi-Fi for your computer, you're going to have a better internet connection if you're hooked in, if you're plugged in with a wire, as opposed to wireless. So that might be part of it too. But if anyone has any suggestions on that, let us know. Okay, yeah, Mage is using the ventilation system. That's awesome. And I guess too, because I don't spend, I'm in and out of the booth, so the door is always coming open, so air's always circulating, and there's holes for the ventilation system that are there, and I've kind of minimized the noise from there. But you don't want to cover your holes completely because you do want some air circulating in there. See what else is going on here. What's up, John? Okay, Merwin is asking, is there a reason you prefer Audition as opposed to Audacity, seeing that Audacity is free? You answered your question kind of in that. Audacity is an amazing program, but it will not do what Audition does. I've used Audacity in my early days along with Adobe Audition. Adobe Audition is just more powerful, especially when you get more into the production end of things like I am. It's a much more powerful program. The workflow is a lot easier for me. It would be for anyone once you learn it. And it's a learning curve that you have to learn. But once you get into some of those things, one of the things that jumps out right now to me as far as with a difference between Audition and between Adobe Audition and Audacity is that all of us use music beds to put into our VOs. And sometimes what happens is, the music bed is probably way too long, or it may be short. And one feature that I just love about Adobe Audition is that no matter how long, and this is not, I'm not talking about music with words, I'm talking about just music, no words involved in it. Adobe Audition will take that. You can do a remix of the music and make the music exactly the length that you want it. Exactly the length. It will remix it, remix any music file. And so, because most of us, we just trim it off at the, we trim it off and then we fade it out ourselves. Well, what this does, it makes it a natural thing. The natural ending to that music will still be there. So that's one of the things that Adobe Audition does that Audacity does not do. It cannot do that. I think it's an easier, especially when you're using plugins like from Waves. And by the way, if you guys need Waves plugins, there's a link in the description in the video, which has been there forever. It's, I think some of you guys need to really check out the links that are in the description for these videos. If you use my link, you get 10% off of any Waves plugin that you want. But anyway, you can, it's a much easier thing to add plugins for me because I get questioned, from time to time, Earl, I'm trying to add these plugins to Audacity. How do I do it? And I think there's something you have to download into Audacity and then be able to use the plugins. I don't know. I did it once like a year ago, so I really can't tell you how to do it. There are so many other things as far as spectral analysis. Sometimes that's going to come into play with some of the things that you're doing, building out your rack. As far as your processing to make it automated, it's just an automated process. It's, you do it once and it's done type of thing. But again, Audacity is an amazing program. It works. There's nothing wrong with it. But for my workflow, for me to spend $19 a month just to have access to Adobe Audition is worth it. It's only $19 a month. By the way, steps-to-voiceoversuccess.com. There's a link right on the homepage if you want to go check out Adobe Audition. All right. Let's see here. What else has come in? Who's spying on Earl? Let's see. And what's so funny is I know that the folks that have been in voiceover for a while, yeah, I know we've got spies. I know that people are trying to see what I'm doing. And it was funny because we actually talked about this a little bit within my group yesterday. I came into this whole arena without support, without going through the normal channels, without, I guess, going through the powers that be. And so I'm on this scene now, which is undeniable in the coaching realm, in the voiceover realm, the audio production realm. I was never involved with the clique. I did this through the grace of God on my own and just came onto the scene and started sharing my story. And this is what I do every day. When you go back to my earliest videos, it's just me sharing my story. And I was never afraid to do that. I wasn't afraid when I was in my basement and had ugly blankets around me to share my story with you. And because I knew where I was going to go, I knew what was going to happen just in my mind because of my own planning and my grind and don't quit attitude. And so, yeah, people are spying. And I know there are people from different organizations, different voice coaches and things of that nature. And I welcome them in. And sometimes I wish they would just say, hey, as opposed to just stalking me or stalking us rather to see what it is that we're talking about. But hey, it's a part of the game. I didn't come into this through the normal channels. I didn't ask permission. And that's why I always tell you, never ask permission from anyone to be great. Do it. Just do it. Plug for Nike there, I guess. Let's see here. People are literally invading Earl Hall Studio to get this knowledge. Yeah, I believe that, but it goes with the territory. It's an open marketplace, right? And I do everything out in the open. I don't try and cover up and hide. That's why I do these live broadcasts every day. I just want to be accessible. No one else does what I do. They just don't. That's not me bragging. It's just the truth. No one else does this. There's no VO that you can tap into every single day and ask questions. It's just not there. So I'm filling a space that no one else was willing to fill. It's a blue ocean for me. And you guys that know me and have heard me talk about one of the books that is in my store, Blue Ocean Strategies, it's that. It's that mentality behind that. Let's see. Mage answered a question on. Let's see. We got something else here. Is the floor of your booth the same material as what is the outside of the booth? Yeah, but it's more cushiony. I think you can say that, but it's about that same material that's there. As I said, I'm going to give you guys a tour. I'll give you a tour next week. Um, Greg is asking, do you use the DBX 286 to process or post process your recordings? In my booth, I don't use the DBX 286S anymore. I don't need to. I don't need to take out any noise. The booth is very quiet. There is no noise. There's a little bit of, obviously air or whatever that you might, but it's undetectable and it just comes out in my processing. So I actually don't use my DBX because I have the booth now. The DBX was my secret sauce before I had the booth. That was major. So it's one of those pieces of gear that if you're not working in a booth, sound controlled, basically it's going to be a part of your chain that can be the secret sauce with that. But I still do have, you can kind of see them a bit here, I think. There we go. You can see I still have them in my rack. That's there. So, and you can kind of see the buttons lighting up because it's plugged into this mic for this. I do use the DBX for this microphone to take out background noise as I'm broadcasting. All right. So Mage answered a question about the wireless. There is always a possibility that they will produce, okay, RF, radio frequency interference. Yeah. Thanks, Mage, for that. I appreciate you answering that question. John is asking, when building a starting booth with moving blankets, is there any noticeable advantage to use 2 layers versus 1, or possibly leaving an air gap between the 2 layers? That one I actually don't know the answer to. I never used 2 layers. I only used 1. I think someone, I'm not sure if it was Mage Pro or someone else that was in here that talked about a second layer. I actually never used 2 layers. I just used 1 layer of comforters. And they surrounded me and they were also above me as well. I don't think it would hurt. I think it would help deaden more as far as maybe keeping more noise out because they are rather thick. So let us know on that one. Conchita saying sometimes Audacity doesn't play nice with some plugins, but you can set up a rack. Okay, awesome. Awesome. I didn't know you could set up a rack in Audacity. All right. John, how are you making out with Pro Tools? Oh, I just opened it. Here's the thing. Okay, so I got Pro Tools yesterday, right? So I downloaded it. I think it's, what is Pro Tools? $25 a month on the cloud or something like that, which is more expensive than Audacity, which is more expensive than Adobe Audition. So I opened it up. I actually made a recording. I figured out how to finagle it and route my mic to it. But I have not figured out how to hear it. I spent about maybe 30 minutes playing with it on yesterday. So I'll figure that out at some point. And I'll just continue to learn Pro Tools day by day just to get proficient at it. What was funny is my audio engineer, JC, was saying that for voiceover, even though JC is a Pro Tools guy, and he likes Audacity. He likes Adobe Audition better for voiceover, whereas Pro Tools more probably for music. So I thought that was interesting. Sam, I think you are saying that Adobe is more functional rich. Yes, I think it's more functional, but let's just cut to some chase here. When it comes to your DAW, it does not matter which one you use. GarageBand, Pro Tools, what are some other ones? Whatever. The one that you use that you know and that produces what you want it to produce, i.e. the one that you use and you're comfortable with, there is nothing wrong with that. I don't care if it's Audacity. It does not matter. You can still produce everything that I can produce. You can produce in Audacity. You just have different steps to take to get to the end point that I would get to. So don't put too much into wondering if you need to switch your DAW. Use what you're comfortable with and learn it inside out and become an expert by being a practitioner of it. And don't get, so many times we chase the shiny objects. You might hear me talking about Adobe Audition and how great it is, and then you want to run out and go get it, and then all of a sudden you've got to learn how to use it, and then what do? You go right back to Audacity because you know it. So don't put too much into that. Use what you're comfortable with. That's it. Use what you're comfortable with because you're going to get to the same result no matter what DAW you use. It's just that simple. All right. Wow. Okay. A bunch of questions coming in here. Let's go back up. Let's see, Andrea. I used to be said that no one wants to work with a newbie, but now folks are being encouraged to share the journey from the beginning. Do you think that doesn't matter anymore? No. Well, let me tell you why I shared my journey. And this has been over almost 3 years now. Where do I start? I shared my journey because I wanted people to see the possibilities. I was never able to see someone start off and then quote unquote make it. You've got the coaches or whatever that are out there, and that's all you see. You see where they are, and they're making whatever they're making now in voiceover, and they've quote unquote made it. And they'll tell you a story about, what they used to have to go through or whatever. But the only videos that you see of them is they've got a booth and they've got a rack and, speakers and all this other kind of stuff. But they never shared the journey from the beginning. That would have been helpful to me if I had someone that did that. And so I said that this is what I will do. And it was a conscious decision that I will play the fool, if you will. I will be the guinea pig of all of this. I believe that anyone can make this in voiceover if they've got the talent, the grind and don't quit mentality, and they understand marketing. And so I decided to start sharing my journey, not now when I'm here, but I started my journey to share that with you when I started from the basement of our home, so that you could see it was a conscious decision to share my journey at the beginning without really knowing where the end was going to be or that I was going to make it, so on and so forth. But I knew that I would. And so I wanted to share my journey as encouragement. And I think that I wish that more people would do this. It doesn't matter if you start sharing your journey today. It's not like no one's going to watch it. They will. They watched me. You watched me. I think that if more people were transparent, open, and authentic, that it could be a lot more help than someone just being brave. It takes no bravery for me to share where I am now. It takes none. It took bravery for me to do what I did at the beginning. Without, I could see where I wanted to go, and I had to prove that whole process was to prove that you can do it. So the more of us that do this, I think the more encouraging it will be to others. I just believe that. And no, I don't think it's too late. And I think it does matter. Mage is saying, John, 2 layers with a space is ideal. Awesome. That's for the blankets, for the recording space. See, can't you purchase who's this saying? Too many comments are coming in. Can't you purchase the Pro Tools software straight up versus monthly? Yeah, I'm probably sure you can. I guess I'm just more accustomed to a monthly thing. I don't know. Because you get all the updates. Because if you purchase it straight out, you probably have to pay for updates as they happen. Whereas if you pay monthly, as they make updates, you automatically get them. That's probably the major difference. That's how Adobe Audition works. I get all the updates instantly because it's on the cloud. I don't have to download more stuff. It's just updated. Storm is saying, I've been trying out Reaper and like it. I've heard some good things about Reaper. I've never even opened up Reaper. I have no idea. So, good. Pro Tools is like bringing a nuke for a bug problem for VO. Okay. uh, Conchita, Twisted Wave is another. Yeah. John Grimes is saying, John, you will get added benefit if you can make folds in your blankets. It will trap more bass and lower frequencies. Awesome. Mage is saying he loves Reaper. Will Stoff is saying, I've been using Adobe Audition for 15 years. It doesn't work on Mac, does it? They do have a Mac version of Adobe Audition. It's for both. It'll play on both. You just have to choose the correct download, whether you want it for Windows or whether you want it for Mac. Let's see. Ward Wilson, I'm beginning with a Samson C01 plus a Florian mic with my laptop and desktop. Does that work? I have no idea. I don't know what those mics are. But here's the thing about a mic. You start where you are. You start where you are with what you have. And if you're able to produce good quality sound, that's what matters. So if you're able to produce good quality sound with the mic that you have, whichever one, then you're able to produce good quality sound. One of the biggest discussions I've been having over and over again, and we talked about this yesterday in my team meeting for Earl Hall Studio, is how important it is for environment. Your environment is the beginning. I don't care if you have a Neumann TLM 103. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you have one of these. If your environment that you're recording in is poor, you're going to get poor quality. The environment is the first link in your chain, and the most important. It is the most important link in your chain is your recording environment. You've got to make it as best as you can using what we talked about, blankets. If you're just starting out, like I started out, blankets. I wish I would have known about the double blanket thing back in the day. So yeah, it's the environment more so than the mic. Then once the next thing that's important after your environment is your mic. And then understanding and knowing how to process your DAW. Greg, I bought one acoustic blanket from Vocal Booth to Go. It works wonderfully on my Horizon. Will be the whisper room. Awesome. Nick is saying Audition is amazing, but you really get in depth. It really is a learning curve. But once you cracked it, it's the bomb. Yeah, concur on that one. So many comments. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. How big of a deal is getting voice lessons? How far can you go if you haven't taken voice lessons? Well, it's really going to depend on your natural ability and talent. I still take voice coaching lessons, at least once a year, to make sure that I'm still on point. I'll pick someone that I know, like, and trust, and I will go through some coaching with them. I'll have them coach me through a couple of reads. But it depends on your natural ability. I would suggest that everyone get some coaching, especially if you're just starting out, so that you can have a professional tell you what they hear in your reads and what you need to improve on. And until you get someone that has that critical ear to be able to listen to you, do that, you don't know. So, I mean, I do that. It's something that I offer on my website at stepstovoiceoversuccess.com. So if it's something you want to set up, we can definitely set that up. Do you have to get coaching lessons? You don't have to do anything. But in the realm of being a professional business owner, investing in your craft is important. I do it. All of us that are successful at this do it. We don't ever stop paying for training. We don't ever stop paying for learning more as much as we can from people that we trust. It's just that simple. Michael Jordan had a coach. He doesn't play basketball anymore. Serena Williams, Venus Williams, they have coaches, and they're professionals. And so you kind of see what I mean. People that are at the top of their game understand the value of coaching and training. All right. Greg, thanks for sharing your journey. I'm glad to be walking on the same block. Thank you, Greg. Ben, the other benefit to sharing your journey is it gets your voice out there. People can search you and hear you on top of your demos. That's a thing too. Besides my regular marketing, people find me on YouTube all the time for all different reasons. Um, Greg, usually it has to do with environment outside the blankets. Okay, okay. Good morning, Chris. I use Audacity, but I also have Reaper. Okay, if I need to do quick, Audacity is my touchstone. Yeah, because that's the one you know. Use Audacity because that's the one you know, and probably the one you've used the longest, like I was saying before. Just use the one you know. Don't sweat it. It's not that big of a deal. It's just not. Studio One. I'm saying these. Yeah, I used Studio One for a bit, and I let it go because it's too much for me. There was, and I thought I was good at it, and it was like this is taking me way longer, and it was that learning curve. I was familiar and more comfortable with Adobe Audition. I know how to use it. Boom, boom, boom. I tried using Studio One under the suggestion of another VO, very good VO, and coach, by the way. But and I still have it because it's something you pay for and you have. I still have Studio One, but I haven't opened up Studio One in over 6 months. But it's a very good package, but it was confusing for me. All right. Well, guys, hey, I've been here for more than 30 minutes at this point. I've been talking. My mouth is dry. Everything. I've got VO work to do today. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in today and just being a part of the program. Every Friday, I try to make it Open Mic Friday so that you guys can just come with your questions and ask as many as you need to get an answer from. I'm very encouraged by the participation that you guys have in all of this. If you haven't already hit the like button or the thumbs up, please do that now. If this has been valuable to you, go ahead and please give me a thumbs up or a like or heart, whatever it is, wherever you're listening to me from. Feel free, please. It means a lot that you share these programs out. So if you have the ability to do that on your own page or different groups that you're in, I definitely appreciate you sharing out the show as well. I see some people asking some more questions about XLR cables and things of that nature. Sorry, I can't get to it. What you pay for is what you get on anything, everything. So that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, take that advice with a grain of salt or whatever you want to with that. But you guys have an awesome and amazing weekend. A lot of things coming up next week. I will be doing a tour of my booth, which I have not done yet. I'll be doing a tour of my booth on next week, so you guys will be able to check out what I got going on there and ask some questions as well. You guys have an amazing weekend. I love you guys. See you Monday.